Hello guys, welcome to Mark Shrimp Tanks. I thought today we'd go over the 4 most important things that I think you should consider going into 2020 if you want to be a successful shrimp keeper. Okay guys, one of the most important things that you should know when you get shrimp is you must know the species of shrimp that you're going to get before you even start the tank, right? Because you will need to know the water parameters, lighting, heating, all this kind of stuff. If you'll need salts, buffering, food, the lot, right? So the number 1 thing on my list when you are doing golden rules is that you know the species of shrimp, you know the parameters, etc. So for this you will need to do research, ask friends, go on forums, ask people on YouTube, etc. Just look around, look for information about your shrimp. So if you do all of this, guys, you find out everything you can about your shrimp before you even set up the tank, they will reward you for it, right? So it's really important that you know your shrimp before you start your tank. So the second step, guys, for me would be cycle your tank. Now once you know what shrimp you want and you've set up the tank the way you want it to be set up, that you have the proper substrate, plants, etc., you must cycle the tank. It's very, very important that you cycle the tank because if you don't and you add shrimp to it, any uneaten food that you place in the tank will go bad, it will go off, it will produce a plethora of toxic chemicals to shrimp and it will kill them. This is a massive, massive thing that I see new people to the hobby, the mistake they make, and they will eventually kill their shrimp, right? So it's very, very important that you cycle the tank. Okay, so to start your cycle, what you need to do, guys, is you have to add a food source to the tank, right? And in the olden days, we used to actually add a piece of prawn to the tank because old pieces of prawn go off very, very fast, right? And they produce a lot of ammonia. And that is one of the things that is key to starting a successful shrimp tank, right? Is you have to get the proper chemical elements into the tank for the bacteria to feed on, preferably in your filter system and your substrate in that, right? To actually get your cycle started, right? So you're think of it like a chain reaction, right? You have certain levels of bacteria. They all require certain elements in the water, right? And once one of them has its element that it needs, it by-produces something else, another chemical, that another bacteria in the water or in your filters, as an example, feeds on, right? And once you have this link up of chains together, it's called a cycle. This is where the word cycle comes from, right? Because they all pass on their elements to the next bacteria. And what you end up with at the end is something like nitrate, right? And nitrate is very good for plants, right? So it's good to have some plants in the tank. Or, as the way I like to do it now, is I like to have lots of biofilm. Biofilm is the green stuff, brown stuff that you see on the glass, right? It's made up of fungi, plants, molds, different types of bacteria, viruses, protozoa. It's made up of a lot of things. It's like a matrix of mesh of stuff together that shrimp love to feed through, right? So it's really, really important that you start your cycle and you don't add a single shrimp to it until it is done. Okay, let's get on to the next step. So up next we have feeding. This one's quite important. Only feed the shrimp what they will eat within 2 hours. Like you see here, this is a pretty new tank with my blue dreams in it. We have a nice little colony going here already. And this tank has been up and running for probably about 2 months. Right, so if you follow the golden rules I'm giving you here, you will can achieve the success that you also see here. We have quite a lot of babies running around, and this is all down to feeding as well. So let's talk about the feeding here. Only feed your shrimp what they will eat within 2 hours, as I've already said, right, and remove the excess food in the tank. Right, with snails in the tank, you don't really have to remove the food quite as much, but you should still watch your feeding. Leftover food can go bad pretty fast in the shrimp tank and pollute it, right? So it's important that you remove all the food from the tank when you have to, because if you don't, the rotten food will produce ammonia, which equals shrimp deaths, right? So watch your feeding, use a dish if you're using an active substrate, and you know, if the substrate is more than a few centimeters thick, use a feeding dish. Okay, let's get on to the next one. Okay guys, so the last one on the list is water changes, right? This is really, really important, because if you do more than I say that I recommend for you guys to do, you will shock the shrimp and they will die, right? It's as simple as that. I've done lots of experimental research on this over years and years and years, And I think a lot of it comes down to this, right? If you listen to the experts, they will often, more than not, tell you exactly what to do, right? The ratio that I've ended up with is 10%. Right? And this was a ratio I saw when I started keeping shrimp a long time ago, but I also saw other ratios as well, right? So it can be quite confusing and not knowing exactly how much water to change, and you know how much water to change for each species of shrimp, right? So I've eventually landed in a number a lot of people suggested a long time ago, and it was 10%, right? So do no more than 10% water change a week, and your shrimp will love you for it, right? Age your water as well, because as we have talked about in previous videos, the water that comes straight out the faucet from the pipes into your RO unit or into your tap, the pressure is different, the pH is different, the temperature will be different, right? So age your water for 24 hours at least, get some air pumping through it. If you're using tap water as an example, please use a dechlorinator, right? Because you never know when your waterwork company will do something to your pipes. Might not be in your house or around your land, but it could be at the water station. There could be a flood, for an example, that puts a lot of organic waste, could be organic waste. I'm thinking more like flood soil. You know, when you look at a river and it floods and it goes all brown, a lot of the times that water can get into the system of your waterworks as well, and it can just flood over, you know, it can like overload their system, and you will see that effect in your water, right? So the way they get around that is after they've had this flood, sometimes I will get a warning that there's something happened with the waterworks, and just to watch the water for the next day or two. But what they do is once the water clears, they know that there will be an excess of bacteria, different kinds of things, organic matter that's passed through the pipes, so they flush the pipes a lot of the time with chemicals to sterilize the pipes again. Alright, so it's important that you use a dechlorinator, as I said, if you use tap water. I'm not so bad because I use reverse osmosis water, and mine's is extra filtered because I have layers of carbon, sediment filter, RO membrane, and now I have a DI resin filter on the end. So there you have it, guys. We have our 4 golden rules of shrimp keeping. Know your shrimp species, cycle your tank, watch your feeding, very important. And the very crucial one is 10% water changes, right? I can't make it any simpler than that. Do 10% water changes. If you're using a tap water, as always, you have to be a little bit extra careful. You have to use a dechlorinator. And guys, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you found this video at all helpful, you want to see more content like this where I share the little secrets that I know about with you guys, then please do subscribe, like this video, smash the like button, and I'll catch you in the next one. Happy shrimp keeping, shrimp farm.